It was a week before spring break. Finals were coming up, but me and my friends were more worried about getting our partying on sooner than that. We gathered at our friend Emilia's dorm room for some pizza and a game of truth or dare. We arrived at our dorm room, smuggling in some rum and some beer, which was sure to end in disaster.
Amelia!
My friend Josh said, hugging her. He was the one who set up this little get-together, and our last. After a few drinks, we somehow got on the topic of urban legends about the college. Of course, there were the usual legends. A secret club that you could only get into if you knew the principal's son. A black market in the library where you could buy whatever drugs they had on sale. But the one we talked about was the oldest one. The one that has been around 30 out of the 50 years the university has been around. The legend of the Forbidden Basement.
I hear they have it chained up so no one gets in there.
Amelia said.
Really? I heard it's there to stop something from getting out.
Our other friend Jennifer said.
You know, I was helping my grandfather garden earlier, and he still has this big weed trimmer. It should work as a substitute bolt cutter against those rusty chains.
It seemed like they were all thinking the same thing. In their drunkenness, they all decided that we would sneak into the basement and get a look at what the school was holding down there. I didn't have anything better to do, and I was already in a position where if I got caught and expelled, I wouldn't care. Therefore, I decided to join my friends on the adventure. It was a horrid mistake. We snuck our way past security, keeping our lights low as to not be seen. Strangely enough, there weren't any cameras where the basement door was, so we could get there and in completely undetected. We finally arrived at the green, rusty door, bound by rusted chains and a sign next to it that read, "Authorized personnel only." Josh got his cutter and went to work on the chain link. We heard a snap and a loud clunk as the lock hit the ground. We opened the door to stairs, leading down into an abyss.
Oh my god, this is so scary.
I heard Amelia say. We turned on our flashlights and walked down, with no noise other than the echoes of our feet hitting the iron stairs.
What do you think we'll find down here?
Jennifer asked.
Don't know, but if you ladies get scared, just, cling to me.
Josh replied. We made it to the bottom and found a hallway that went down before going off to the left. We walked down the corridor and noticed how creepy it was. Even for a basement. The walls were a rustic brown, and the floor beneath us was a grate. I shined my light down at the floor and found a few rats scurry across. Man, this place gives me the creeps, I said before we stopped at the door. The door we came up on wasn't made of metal, but instead it was of finely carved wood. We opened the door, and what we found on the other side baffled us. It was a large room with puppets hanging from the ceiling. There was also a stagecoach with a sign that read,
"The Grand Puppeteer."
There was a moment of silence to take in the scene before I heard Josh.
What the hell is this?
We shined our lights around and found another door at the end of the strange room. Are we sure we want to press on? I asked, hoping we could go back. That's when we heard something. Carnival music, coming from the other side of the door. We walked up to it and opened it, to another long hallway with a room that almost looked like prison cells on each side. Alright, that's it. I'm leaving. I don't care if it makes me a wuss. I cut myself off when I noticed something. There were 4 of us when we came down. Jennifer was gone. Ginny! Ginny! I shouted before the halls echoed with her screaming.
Jen!
I heard Josh yell before running through the hallway. Before I could say a word to him, he disappeared into the darkness.
Well, what do we do now, Mike? We can't leave them, but I can't go any further. This is terrifying.
Amelia, I'm gonna go look for Josh and Jennifer, okay? You need to run back to the dorms.
Are you sure you can do it alone?
No, I'll be fine, but I'll be better if I know you at least made it out alive. She gave me a kiss and told me not to die before running back to the dorms. I ventured further, hoping to find my friends. I went down the dark corridor, shining my light in rooms that looked like mental ward rooms. What the hell is this place? What was the college doing down here? I stopped my monologue when I noticed something on the ground. It was another puppet. I picked it up and my blood ran cold. It had Josh's hair, his glasses, and even his clothes. I dropped it. No way. That's not... I decided this was getting out of hand. Whatever this unseen puppet master was, he would see the end of everyone here. I turned and ran to try to get help. I went down the hallway, not wanting to go any deeper into this labyrinth of torment. That's when I heard it again. Carnival music, coming from right behind me. I turned to see a shadowy figure floating towards me. I could see that it wore a long robe, and when I shined my light in its face, it looked like an old-time jester. He wasn't fast, but I wasn't going to stick around any longer. I double-timed it until I got to the puppet room. When I entered, something fell from the ceiling and landed right in front of me. I shined my light on it and grabbed it. It was a puppet of Jennifer. I shook myself awake when I heard the carnival music behind me, getting closer. My running was hindered by my tired legs, the chill in my spine, and the doom in my heart. I finally made it back to the surface and slammed the door shut. I ran all the way back to my dorm room and locked the door. I spent a good hour laying on my bed, crying, until I got a knock at the door. I had prayed it was Amelia, and when I opened the door, all I got was a brown box by my feet. I dreaded to open it, and my dread was justified. When I opened it, I found a twisted parody of my prayer. It was another puppet, one that looked just like Amelia. It had a note in the box that read, "Until death do us part."